Hi everyone, so welcome to this video where I'm going to show you me kind of training myself and practicing for my standards check, which is now just 2 days away. Now first of all, let me explain that the reason I'm sitting on the sofa here and I haven't got my full setup ready yet is I've had one of those days. If I just tell you briefly what happened. When I woke up this morning, first thing I woke up to was a text message from a pupil cancelling a lesson this afternoon because he'd been involved in an armed robbery because the shop he worked at was robbed last night. And also the people I'm doing my standards check with is his friend, who was also there at the same time, also involved in the robbery. So, I made sure it was okay. Then I said, you're still okay for the standards check. Because I did tell him, you can't really cancel this no matter what comes up. But I didn't expect an armed robbery to come up. Anyway, so I went to my first pupil. I will get on with the video soon, but this is important to explain why I might look a bit scruffy and tired. I went to do my first pupil, and she sent me a text saying I'll be 20 minutes late. And I was already 10 minutes early. And then she sent me a text saying I've got a bad headache, I can't do today. So I thought, great. So I went for a drive around, practising in the area that I'm going to do my standards check. Because I know it really well, but I haven't been on one particular road. And that you'll see that video on the site. It's the one before this one probably. Anyway, I did that. Then I went to do a bit of shopping. Thought I'd go over to my mum's house, pick up a few things she's got me. So I went over there, did a long walk over there, came back home, thought I'll have a nice lovely afternoon from about 2 o'clock, whatever, just recording videos for my video for this section of the website. And then I noticed when I was cleaning the car that I had a screw in a tyre. And this is the fourth screw I've had in the last year. So I only had one last week. I went down the garage and said, "Oh, not you again." They gave me 2 brand new tyres free last time. Anyway, so I've had, a really bad day. I've had everything going wrong. But I haven't had time to set up all the studio. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through the briefing that I'm going to do with my pupil. And this is what you should be doing as well if you're serious about getting a good grade. So on the last lesson we did a mock test. And nothing was really that bad. We had something come up with lanes on the dual carriageway. But he did explain to me what happened on that. Quite simply, we came off into the right-hand lane and he was trying to get left, but there was a car behind who was quite close. They weren't undertaking us, but they were too close. So my people hung in the right lane, and then that car came in behind us and he didn't move over because there were roadworks coming up. And it was a bit of an awkward one, but we went through that, and I don't feel that's something that needs to be worked on because it's the first time he's ever done it wrong. So I was going to do my standards check based on that. But I've decided now I'm going to do it based upon sort of things that, I don't know what you call this topic, I suppose it comes under awareness and planning, but things that you need to know. I'm just going to check this is recording, by the way. Yep, sorry, didn't check if the audio was recording before I started. So it's been a mad day. So yeah, we're going to do a lesson based upon skills that pupils need after they've passed the driving test. And I think that's very good because a lot of instructors focus on the test and passing the test. And I'm going to be clearly demonstrating to the examiner that we're going beyond that. And then we're going to be looking at skills that they'll need beyond the L test. So I'm thinking of doing 2 things. I'm going to be doing, taking him to several areas he doesn't know. One where there's a ford that you have to drive through. So you're going to drive through a river in the middle of the road. And then there's one, you might have seen this on many of the videos, there's a drawbridge you have to go over where the bridge can be up in the air, you have to wait for it to come back down. Then there's a very narrow tunnel and there are some lakes down the road from there. We probably won't get to do the lakes because they're further down, but 3 awkward things that the pupil doesn't know are there. And even if he does know they're there, we certainly haven't driven on them before. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm also going to add I'm going to be bringing my phone along, and we're going to be using that to guide us by doing a sat-nav, because that's another valuable skill that a lot of people will need. A lot of people have phones with sat-navs on now. It's all pretty much free sat-navs these days. So I thought that would be a great topic, doing a sat-nav drive, because that's coming into the driving test soon anyway. And yeah, doing a bit of independent driving. So I won't be saying too much on the standards check at all. And I'm going to be making it clear to the people at the beginning that is a big thing. For me to not say something, for me to not speak is a big thumbs up for their ability. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just set this timer I'm on my phone. So I'm going to sort of time myself doing the briefing and see roughly how long it is. But I don't use this much, so I've got to find where it is. I think I'll be in here, let's see. But I want to get his stopwatch going if I can find it, because it's not something I often use. Where did I put it now? I think I put it into the folder of things I don't normally use. Yeah, there we go. I suppose it's alarm and clock. So I'm going to put it on stopwatch. And I'm going to start this, and I'm just going to talk to myself now, imagining that instead of all the crazy cats, I'm imagining that the people is sitting there. I know it's the wrong way around, but imagine I'm in the car now with the people. And I'm going to try and make it so it's client-based, so the people ask some input. And I might do this several times, I don't know. But I just want to get a feel for what I'm going to say. So I'm going to imagine that we've gone in the car, and the examiner's just gone in the back. And he says, start, whatever. So we start now. So I'll say to the people, okay, so if you thinking back to the last lesson, what did you do? And they'll probably say, well, we did a mock driving test. How do you think that went? I think it went pretty well. I think I passed it, didn't I? There was only that one little bit, and we sorted that out. I'll say, yeah. So is there anything in particular you want to improve? And I know these people well. Whenever I say that, he always goes, no, not really. So what I'm going to say is, if you think back to the lesson before the last one, we did some driving, independent driving, where you drove around on your own. And I didn't really say much at all, did I? We did a lot of following road signs and street signs. What did you think about that? Now, he's going to say, I haven't told him to say this, but he's going to say, it was really useful, because he said before he found it really useful. It was quite handy to not be told where to go and to be made to think. And I'm going to ask him the question, if you give yourself a mark out of 10 for driving completely on your own, from a 0, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, how well do you think you did on that particular lesson? And people nearly always say like 7. So I'll say to him, okay, so what do you think we could do to get it even better? What do you think about getting up to a number 8 today, or even a 9? And you might not have an answer for that. We might say, well, I'd like to do more of the same. And this is where I'm going to step in and say, how about we try using a sat-nav? And he'll probably say, oh yeah, never thought of that, because I haven't mentioned this to him before. And he'll say, oh yeah, using a sat-nav, that'd be quite handy. I've not done that before. How about as well if we go to areas that you don't know at all, new roads, and I'm going to be throwing some things at you which you're not really you're prepared for, but you're not going to know what they are. There's one in particular I'm going to help you with because it's something quite unique. But the other two, I want to see if you can work it out for yourself and see if you can use the skills that you've already learned in the past to get over these difficulties that you find today. So that's the point of today's lesson, is I want you to become even more independent, and I want you to get a feel for what it's like driving on your own, with a sat-nav, having to deal with problems without me helping you all the time. And then I'll probably say to him, is there anything else you want to go over? And he might say, not really, that sounds fine. Then I'll say to him, okay, so as always, I've got your controls. I shouldn't need to use them because, I haven't used them for a few lessons now, and you're quite good at driving, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this. So I will use them if I need to, but I'd like you to be responsible for our safety and the safety of everyone around us. In particular, when we reach the areas that you're not familiar with, if you feel you need any help, just let me know and I'll step in. Otherwise, I'm going to sit back and not say too much. And I want you to understand that's a big thing for me to do, because it's quite hard for me to sit back and say nothing at all. That takes a lot more for me than it does to actually talk you through something. And then I'll probably say to people, any last minute questions? No, I'll have done the question about the weight. I'll say to them, we've got someone in the back now. How's that going to affect the car's handling? And if I look at the clock now, that was 3 minutes and 18 seconds roughly. So yeah, I did take one part of the video out where I just started coughing. You didn't miss anything there. So that's okay. That's about 3 minutes 19 seconds. Assuming that I've already talked about that, we're going to talk about the weight of the examiner in the back as well, and he'll probably answer a bit more than that. So that's going to be like 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll get moving. So that's the kind of thing I like to practice. That was just the first off the top of my head, the first run through. Haven't practiced that at all. I'm going to watch that back, and there's probably things I can improve. I want to try and involve the people a bit more. I did set the level of instruction. I said I wasn't going to say much. I did mention risk management. I told him I'd like him to be responsible for everything. But what I'm going to do on the day is I'm going to write down those things and have them on a notepad like this in front of me. There's no shame in doing that. There's no point in forgetting something and then thinking later on, why didn't I just say that? and for the next few years you've got a lower grade than you could have had just because you didn't write something down. So that was just me practicing a briefing. I'm going to practice that several more times tonight. I'm going to try and get it more kind of formulated so I can remember what to say. Now, of course, it can all go out the window because you might go out for a drive and something happens and you have to change all your plans. But that's the kind of thing I like to practice. I think if you get off to a good start, it's really good. You don't want to get in the car and just freeze and you think, right, what we're doing, what do I say? It's good to have that briefing, not scripted as such, don't read it off a script, but certainly make notes, and you're allowed to read off notes, that's fine. So there you go, that's how I practice my briefing. So I'll be doing that more tonight. It's currently coming at 5 o'clock. I'll be doing that for about an hour or so, just thinking about it, writing down some notes. I don't plan the rest of the route, I've got to think about it, but I can make that up as I go because I know the area really well. I've been there thousands of times. I can plan that within minutes. I've got to plan where I'm going to program the sat-nav because I need to pull over. If you do a sat-nav, don't be touching the screen as you move, and you want to pull over, especially if it's on a phone. You're supposed to pull over, turn the engine off. Otherwise you are breaking the law by touching your phone while you're teaching, even if it's for a sat-nav. So I'm going to make sure I've got plenty of places to pull over and reprogram the sat-nav. So there you go, just a quick video to show you how I practice my briefings. I will be doing many more videos when I've got my full setup, and I'll be talking about briefings in more detail. But I thought you might want to see, what it's like when I'm just doing it myself without it being planned. So anyway, I'm off to have a bit of a rest. I'll try some more briefings. So I hope that's been helpful for you to watch, and I'll see you again soon. One final tip I'll give you is whenever you can, try and practice this in your car, because it does seem different in the car. If you practiced in your home for a long time, you go into a car, it can feel a bit weird. So I do like to pull over on the way back from my last lesson sometimes and just sit in the passenger seat and just talk through that briefing, imagining the sun in the back. It does help because then you're kind of prepared to do it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon for more videos.